and for the given value outside the interval, if I want to find the value, then that is called extrapolation. So interpolation and extrapolation, the two concepts. Clear? So it is not easy to determine the exact form of the function fx with the help of set of values of xi, yi. Anyways, it's not necessary to discuss all about this. Let's have for given 2 points x naught y naught and x 1 y 1, we find a polynomial of degree 1 as a y equals to f of x. Okay, and that f of x is a naught plus a1x. So for the points x naught y naught, x1 y1 and x2 y2, we find a polynomial of degree 2 as y equals to. So here one thing you need to understand that for these three intervals or the points, we can find a polynomial of degree 2. Okay. For the 2 points or the two intervals, we find the polynomial of degree 1. If, if the 4 points are given, then we can find a polynomial of degree 3. Okay. So for 2 points, we find a polynomial of degree 1. For 3 points, we find a polynomial 2. For 4 points, we find a polynomial of degree 3, and so on. Okay, how that we are going to discuss. So then we solve those equations for a naught, a1, and a2, and we substitute those values into these equations a naught, a1. But it is difficult task to solve a higher order differential, higher order equations. So we use the study of used to study the method of finding the approximating polynomials, and that is nothing but the interpolation. So here the first way to find such interpolating polynomial is this f of x by this is called a Taylor series expansion. So the Taylor series expansion about a point x naught is given to be fx is equals to f of x plus x minus x naught into f dash at that point x naught plus x minus x naught square upon 2 factorial into double derivative function at point x naught plus and so on. Okay. Where this nth term x minus x naught upon raised to n upon n factorial nth derivative of f at x naught plus and so on x minus x naught raised to n plus 1 upon n plus 1 factorial n plus 1th derivative at x. Okay. So this last term is called the remainder term. This last term is called remainder term. Remainder term. You can see here that is the remainder term, and that will gives us the error involved in the process. So that error is called truncation error. Okay, and that is denoted by t, and that is mod of this last term. It means x minus x naught raised to n plus 1 upon n plus 1 factorial raised to n plus 1th derivative at t. Now what is this t? This t varies from x naught to x. So this t varies, x naught is less than t is less than x. So t is any point or value we can say from x naught to xn at which it gives the maximum value truncation. This is the maximum. So if t is chosen so that n plus 1th derivative at t is a maximum, then the value of the t is less than or equal to the mod of that error, truncation error. Okay. X minus x naught raised to n plus 1 upon n plus 1 factorial into n plus 1th derivative of f at t. Okay. Now what is this interpolating? So first interpolating polynomial we have discussed as a what this is actually Taylor's approximation polynomial. Taylor's approximation. Right here, Taylor's. Or it can be also written as Taylor's expansion. If you substitute x naught to be 0, then it becomes Maclaurin series expansion. So Maclaurin is the particular case of Taylor's. Yes. So what is interpolating polynomial? So first of all, let me give you some example that if we have a point like this in the space, and if we want to join these points, how we are joining? We are joining these points like this. Yes. Yeah, like this by continuous curve. We're trying to join. Okay, or that can be like this also, like this with the help of direct straight line, like this, right? So there are infinitely many ways to write to plot such curves. So that is why the interpolation can be possible in interpolation. So what we are doing here, when we given such points in a space, and we are approximating those points by a polynomial passing through those points, and that will be a continuous polynomial. That will not be a straight line like this, because if we plot a curve by using the static straight line, then that curve is not differentiable at this node point. So that is why we have to draw such smooth curve, continuous curve. Okay, continuous curve. So we are approximating that polynomial, and that approximation is called an interpolating polynomial. So what we are giving with the given points, we are finding such polynomials y equals to f of x as an interpolating polynomial y equals to f of x, and that will be asked to find in exam also. So there are two types of interpolation mainly we are going to discuss. First is Lagrange's interpolation, and second is Newton's interpolation. Okay. These two interpolations mainly we are going to discuss, and in that also Lagrange's interpolation is very important. Okay, so let's discuss about the Lagrange's one. First of all, Lagrange's interpolation. So Lagrange's interpolation is a polynomial through passing through these points xi, yi, where I runs from 0 to n. That means x naught, y naught. First is for I equal to 0. The first point is x naught. Sorry. First point is x naught, y naught. Second point is x1, y1. Third point is x2, y2, and so on. Okay. So these are the points, and pass. See, if you recall the things you might have discussed in, I think, 8th or 9th standard, that by with the help of given points we plot those points on the graph paper, and we're trying to join those points to get a graph passing through these points. So that the same thing we are doing here, but we are not actually going to plot the curve passing through these points. We are going to give an equation of that curve. Is this clear? Everyone? So with these given points xi, yi, the curve will be this Pn of x, and that is nothing but actually the required function of x. We call it as a y as a function of x. So y will be equals to Pn of x, and that is summation yi into li, where I varies from 0 to n. Okay. So if we have given such 3 points, then how many yi's we are having? Y naught, y1, and y2. So how many yi's? 3 yi's, right? So for these 3 yi's, the polynomial will be, so I can write here yi, li, and I varies from 0 to 3. Okay. So sorry, not 0 to 3, 0 to 2. Okay, 0, 1, and 2. So that will be, if we expand the summation, that will be y naught, l naught plus y1, l1 plus y2, l2. This will be a required polynomial. यहाँ तक clear है सबको? This is the definition of Lagrange's interpolating polynomial. Is this clear to everyone? Actually, I am unable to hear you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Thank you. Next. I don't know what the problem is. Check it now.
Hello, sir.
Hello?
Hello, sir.
No.
Hello.
Check it. So the first question is here. The polynomial is Lagrange's polynomial, which is yn is equal to or y equals to Pn of x, which will be a summation yi li like this. Okay, for the given points. So see the example. First example. Okay. So here the example is find Lagrange's interpolating polynomial passing through this set of points. Lagrange's interpolating polynomial. So these are xi values and these are yi values. So if we start from x is equal to 0, that is x equal to x naught, then this is x naught, this is x1 and this is x2, and this is y naught corresponding to x naught, this is y1 and this is y2. So the points are x naught, y naught, x1, y1 and x2. So for these three set of points, we have been asked to find the Lagrange's interpolating polynomial. Okay? And use that polynomial to find the value of y at x is equal to 1.5. And hence find the derivative also dy by dx at x is equal to 0.5. And even integration also. Okay? So first of all, let me give you an application of this Lagrange interpolating polynomial. See, most of the times when we are working over the project where we are having some points like this, okay, and we want to guess, or even in stock market also, we are having such. You might have seen such curves like this, isn't it? I don't know actually much more about the stock market, but like this. So to guess the nature of this curve at this particular point, we don't know whether it is increasing or decreasing. We can have a, first of all, with the previous data, we can have an analysis of that polynomial by plotting, by actually sketching that curve, and then we'll come to know whether that curve is decreasing or increasing at that. So we can guess the nature of that curve at this particular point. Okay, so this is an application we can see. The second application is if we are having these 2 points and if we want to know the intermediate observation in between these two. Okay, so once we have a polynomial passing through these 2 points, so suppose for example, let me draw here. Okay, uh, suppose if I plot the points like this. Okay, and if I want to know the value at this particular point, this is y and this is x. So if I want to know, I know the values at these points. So can I guess the value at this particular point if I don't know the graph? That may be here, that may be here, that may be somewhere here also. Isn't it? So first of all, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to guess the polynomial nature passing through these points. And if that polynomial is like this, then now I can say at this particular point the value of y is this. This clear? The value of y. So we can get the required value if we know the nature of the curve. So that nature we are trying to find from the Lagrange interpolation curve. That's it. So the point data is called discrete data. So from the discrete data, we are trying to get the actual polynomial, not actual exact, but we are trying to guess the polynomial, what kind of that polynomial will be. Okay. So see here, find the Lagrange's polynomial passing through these points, and then with the help of that polynomial, get the derivative and integration at those particular points. So let me show you. Okay. See here. Hmm, I want that points also. Anyways, let me show you by now an arbitrary points. So here I have given x and y values. So x is suppose 0 at For x equal to 0, suppose if we have given y is equal to 2, for x is equal to 3, we have given y equal to 4, suppose, suppose. For x is equal to 5, if we have given y is equal to 7, then for these points, let's find the Lagrange interpolating polynomial. So how many i's we are having? This is 0, that means y0, this is y1, and this is y2. So we have to find x, right? Lagrange's interpolating polynomial y is equal to summation I runs from where to where? 0 to 2. Okay, yi li, which is a function of x, li of x. Okay, so when I split this summation, that will be I for I equals to 0, y0 l0 plus y1 l1 plus y2 l2. Okay, you can substitute the yi values. Y0 is 2, so 2l0 plus 4l1 plus 7l2. Okay, now you might be thinking about these li's. What is this l0? What is this l1? What is this l2? So these li's are called Lagrange's polynomial. We can say Lagrange's polynomial, where the formula for Lagrange's polynomial is li of x is, see here, x minus x minus x minus x naught, then x minus x1, x minus x2, and so on, x minus xi minus 1, x minus xi, x minus xi plus 1, and so on, x minus xn upon the denominator will be, while writing the denominator, we have to replace this x by xi. So that is xi minus x naught. Now, if you look at this term, let me change the ink. If you look at this factor, if I write the denominator with x replaced by xi, then xi minus xi will be 0, isn't it? So denominator will be 0. So while writing the numerator, I'll have to skip this term. Remember, this is only the thing we need to remember. X minus xi, we have to skip from the numerator so that the denominator will be non-zero. So when I replace all x by xi, then xi minus x naught, then xi minus x1, xi minus x2, and so on, xi minus 1. Next is xi minus xi plus 1, and so on. Okay, so how do I write now for L0? L0 will be what? You can, L0 of x will be, yes, x minus, can I consider x naught? X minus x naught will not be there, right? So x minus x1, then x minus x2, because we have the points up to x2 only, right? Then upon, now I'll have to replace this x by xi, that is x naught minus x1 into x naught minus x2. You can see the non-zero denominator will be there. Is this clear? So you just substitute x naught, x2, x1, x1, x naught, x1, x naught, x2 into numerator and denominator. You will get some function of x that will be your L0 of x. Is this clear? Similarly, you will get L1 of x. How do I write L1 of x? That will be x minus x naught. Then x minus x1 will not be there. Otherwise, the denominator will be 0, right? So x minus x2 directly. The whole upon x. Now I'll have to replace this x by x1. So x1 minus x naught into x1 minus x2. Okay. In similar manner, you'll have to write for L2, then get this three polynomial L1, L2, L0, L1, L2, substitute into this, and simplify the expression, collect the like terms. That will be a required y as a function of x, and that is called a Lagrange's interpolating polynomial. Now, that Lagrange interpolating polynomial, we have been asked the value of dy by dx. So just differentiate this and then substitute a particular point x given into that differentiation. You will get a required answer. Similarly, just integrate it respect to x with the given points. Okay, you will get the required integration. That's it. Itna hi hai isme. So you can see here in this example, in this question, these 3 points given. So here this is a solution. This is a Lagrange interpolating polynomial y not L0 plus y1 L1 plus y2 L2. Okay. So these are the formulas. Actually, I have generalized those formulas in the first example. So L0 of x ka ye formula hai, where numerator will be x minus x1. See here, I'm not writing x minus x0. Otherwise, denominator will be 0. Okay. So for 0, I'll start with x minus x1, x minus x2, and so on. Okay. And then while writing the denominator, I'll replace x by x0. Everywhere. All those factor with x will be replaced by x0. You can check. Similarly, while writing L1, I'll skip the factor x minus x1 and I'll write all those factors in the numerator by skipping x minus x1. While writing L2, I'll skip x minus x2 and so on. Okay. So here for this particular example, this is a Lagrange interpolating polynomial. Okay. y0 L0, y1 L1 and y2 L2, where L0 is this x minus x0. X0 will not be there. X minus x1, x minus x2. You can see here x1 is 1 and x2 is 2. You can check here. Right? X1 is 1 and x2 is 2. So x minus x1. Let me show you here only. L0 will be equals to x minus x1 into x minus x2 upon x0 minus x1 into x0 minus x2. That is equals to, what is x1? x1 is 2. So x minus 1, x1 is 1, sorry, and x2 is 2. So x minus 2 upon x0 is 0. So 0 minus 1 into 0 minus 2. I hope everyone is clear with this now. L0. So you just simplify this, you'll get a polynomial in x. Okay. Then similarly you'll get L1 and L2 and substitute all those L0, L1, L2 in the given polynomial. This polynomial will get the required y as a function of x. Okay. So this is L0 of x. You can see this is L2 of x, L1 of x, and this is L2 of x. Okay. And then we substitute all these L0, L1, L2 into y. This is the y formula. Okay. So y is, by simplifying means what? By collecting like terms, like this is a square term and this is a square term, right? So 2x square minus 3x square will be 3x square minus 3x square plus 3x square will get cancelled, right? So 2x square minus 6x plus 6x will get cancelled. So minus 2x square minus 3x and plus 4. That is the required polynomial. So this is called a Lagrange's interpolating polynomial. I hope this is clear now. So at the beginning, what we had now, see here, we have given the points only. You can see these are the points. This is this discrete data. If you plot these points on a graph, how the graph will be? Just see here. If we plot these points, 0, 4. So 0, 4 will be somewhere here, right? The next point is 1, 3. So here it is 1 and 3. So that will be somewhere here. Okay. Then 2, 6. 2, 6 somewhere here, suppose. Okay. So we don't know whether the curve is like a parabolic or simply straight line like this. Okay. So for that, we actually find a polynomial. This polynomial we have calculated, this one. And if we plot the graph of this, that would be like a parabolic, like this. Okay. And now we can get the observation at any point. That is what the significance of this Lagrange interpolating. Is this clear to everyone? Now you can ask your doubts. I'm moving to the chat box. You can ask your doubts. Is there any doubt? Hello? Everyone, please do reply. Is there any doubt? Yes, definitely. One more example. So, one more thing. Here, this is a polynomial, required polynomial. So, we have been asked to find the value of y at particular value of x. So, we have given x is 1.5. Substitute that x into this. So, that will be, just a moment, let me show you. So, they have asked corresponding to 1.5. So, once we get the nature of the curve like this, they have asked the value of y at x is equal to 1.5. So what that value will be, we just have to correlate. So how do we get that value? Just substitute x is equal to 1.5 into the given polynomial. That will be 4. So for x is equal to 1.5, this value will be 4. And derivative. So first of all, differentiate this y. What the derivative will be? 4x plus 3. Okay. And then substitute the given value of x, that will be derivative at that point. So that is -1, and even integration also. Okay, next example. Okay, next example. See here, find the Lagrange's interpolating polynomial satisfying this data. Okay, so here this is our x0, this is x1, this is x2, this is x3, this is y0, y1, y2, and y3. Okay. So the Lagrange interpolating polynomial will be what? Y is equals to, yes, y0 L0 plus y2 y1 L1, y1 L1, sorry. Y1 L1. Okay. So polynomial will be y is equals to y0 L0 plus y1 L1 plus y2 L2 plus y3 L3, because y0, y1, y2, y3. That is why we are writing the polynomial up to y3. y4 is not there, no? So up to y3. So we have to evaluate these polynomial Lagrange's polynomials. L0, L1, L2, L3. So how do I write L0? L0 will be x minus x1, x minus x2, and x minus x3 upon, how do I write the denominator? X will be replaced by x0, so x0 minus x1, x0 minus x2, and x0 minus x3. Okay. L1 will be x minus x0 now. Okay. We'll skip x minus x1. So x minus x2, x minus x3, and then x will be replaced by x1. So x1 minus x0, x1 minus x2, and x1 minus x3. Okay. And similarly, L3 will be x minus x0, x minus x2, and x minus x0, x minus x1, and x minus x2. X minus x3 will not be there. Remember. ठीक है, upon x will be replaced by x3. ठीक है, so in this way you will get these polynomials, Lagrange's polynomials L0, L1 and L2. You just substitute into the Lagrange interpolation, you will get the required interpolating polynomial. Okay. So this is what the calculation L0, L1, L2 and L3. Okay. So this is calculation part. Here in the bottom I have combined all those. Okay. Y0, L0 you can see here, then Y1, L1, Y2, L2 and Y3, L3. Okay. And then collect the like terms. That will be a required polynomial. That's it. Next question, find the Lagrange's long interpolating polynomial passing through this set of points. So here the set of points are x0, y0, x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay. So this will be easy. We can do it. Next is remainder term in Lagrange's polynomial. So Lagrange's interpolation formula with remainder term is yi fx is equals to summation yi of x, I varies from 0 to n, plus this last term. This last term is called remainder term. So that is n plus 1th derivative of f upon n plus 1 factorial at zeta into product of x minus xi. Product means x minus x naught into x minus x1 into x minus x2 and so on. That will be a remainder term. Okay. So remainder term is this. You can see here. What is this zeta? Again, zeta is the observation lying between x naught to xn. Any observation, which determines the accuracy of the interpolation. So less error means high accuracy. Remainder term gives the error actually in the Lagrange's interpolation. Okay. So with given these values, find square root of 1.1. So here we have been asked to find the value of square root of 1.1. We don't need to of course we can check our answer, but we have to get this value of root of 1.1 with the help of Lagrange's interpolating polynomial, not with the help of calculator. Of course we can check our answer using the calculator, but we have to actually solve the polynomial to get the value of this required thing. It's an interesting actually. So first of all, what we'll do, we'll define a function. We have given y is equal to root x. So once we get the value of y equal to root x, then we'll substitute x is equal to 1.1 there to get the value of y. Okay, that means y is equal to square root of 1.1. That will be our required answer. So this will be our solution. Okay. So how do we this? You can see here the Lagrange interpolating polynomial will be y0 L0 plus y1 L1 plus y2 L2 plus y3 L3. Because the points are from y0, y1, y2 and y3. So for these points, this will be a Lagrange interpolating polynomial. Y is equal to y0 L0 plus y1 L1 plus y2 L2 plus y3 L3. Okay. So we need to find these L0, L1, L2, L3. This is with the help of calculator. Now let us check. Actually, here what I did, I think I have calculated the polynomials, not here, but into that I have substituted x is equal to 1.1. I got this value y equal to 1.0489. Further, we have extended the calculations to get the error term, because they have asked, I think, the error term. Determine the accuracy of the interpolation. So to determine the accuracy of the interpolation, for n is equal to 3, the remainder term is Rn is equal to fourth derivative, because see, you can see here the remainder term was Rn is equal to n plus 1th derivative. So here n is 3. Okay, n is given to be 3, so R3 will be equals to fourth derivative add zeta upon 4 factorial into product of x minus xi, where I varies from 0 to 3, right? Product of x minus xi. This will be remainder term. You can see here varies from 0 to 3. So so we have seen very beginning that for two set of points we get a polynomial of degree what? 1, na? Right? For 3 set of points we get a polynomial of degree 2. For 4 set of points we get a polynomial of degree 3. So how many set given here? 4 set, na? 1, this 1, 2, 3 and 4 set of points we have. So for these 4 set of points we will get a Lagrange's polynomial of degree 3, and if we differentiate that polynomial 4 times, then what that derivative will be? Why 4 times? Because in Lagrange remainder term we need the derivative of order 4, so we need to differentiate it. Suppose if we have a polynomial of degree 3, let us take here say x cube, simple polynomial, x cube plus x square plus x plus 1. This is a polynomial of degree 3. If we differentiate it 3 times, what that y will be? Suppose y1 or okay y dash, instead of dash, y1 is equal to f dash of x, and that is equals to what? 3x square plus 2x, right? And plus 1. Again y2, that is second derivative, f double dash of x, that is equals to what? 6x plus 2, right? Then third derivative y f triple dash of x will be 6, and fourth derivative will be 0, and further all derivatives will be 0. Are you getting my point? So that is why fourth order derivative of that polynomial will be 0. Okay, they haven't calculated the derivative here, because at what point? So this will be an error. Okay, x minus x naught, then x minus x1, x minus x2 and x minus x3 upon 4 factorial, that is 24. Okay, so by substitute, and x is given to be 1.1, because square root of 1.1, so x is 1.1. So these are dash sorry, for this particular point polynomial, for this particular polynomial x is fourth order derivative is 0, but here for this example fx is given to be root x, so accordingly its first order derivative is 1 upon 2 root x, second order derivative is this one, third order derivative is this one, fourth order derivative is this one. Okay, so this derivative will be maximum at x is equals to 1, because if you look at the interval, we are moving from 1 to 1.4. Let me show you here. See, you can see here x values are 1 to 1.4, right? So x values vary from 1 to 1.4. That means x naught is 1 and x3 is 1.4. So we are having the restriction of 1 to 1.4 in this interval. So that is why that zeta will vary from 1 to 1.4. Okay. So f fourth order derivative of zeta will be maximum of what? At lower value of the interval, because that is negative. You can see here that derivative is negative, not negative, that will be the terms with the negative power. So negative powers means what? As we goes on decreasing the value of the term will getting increasing. That is why for small value of x will get a large value of derivative. Just a minute. काका lecture सुरू आहे करू. Okay. So that is what here fourth order derivative of x will be maximum at x is equal to 1 point. X is equal to 1. That is why when we substitute x is equal to 1, what we'll get? Fourth order derivative will be minus 15 by 16. Okay. So when we substitute that minus 15 by 16 into this, and if you do the calculations of this, then that will be an error we get 2.34375 into 10 raised to minus 5. That will be an error in the Lagrange's interpolation. That's it. Is this clear to everyone? You can ask your doubts. I'm moving to the chat box. You can ask your doubts if any. Hello. Is there any doubt? Calculations. Okay. Anyone else? Is there any other difficulties? Or should I repeat again? Hello. Okay, fine. First of all, here we have been asked to find the square root of 1.1 using Lagrange's interpolation. Okay, so let me show you. Here, I'll show you here. Okay. With the help of, let me clear the screen first of all. So first of all, towards the first solution, we get a Lagrange's polynomial y is equal to y naught L naught plus y1 L1 plus y2 L2 plus y3 L3. Okay, so we know how to get now L naught, L1, L2 and L3. We substitute, we will find those Li's and then we substitute y naught, L naught, y1, L1, y2, L2 and y3, L2 into this. We will simplify the expression, we get a polynomial y as a function of x, right? Okay, so once we get y equal to function of x, and into that we substitute x is equal to 1.1, that is f of 1.1, we'll get y is equal to square root of 1.1. You might be thinking that what is the square role of square root here? So you can see here y equal to root x. So for x is equal to 1, y will be root of 1, that is 1. For x is equal to 1.2, root of 1.2 will be this. This is given to us, and with the help of this we want to guess the nature of root, and we have been asked to find the accuracy of the interpolation. Okay. So with the help of this we'll get the value of y equal to 1.1, because that is only the thing which is not given in between these two. At x is equal to 1.1 somewhere here, and at x equal to 1.1 we have been asked to find the value of y, right? So okay, so with the help of these calculations we'll get a Lagrange interpolating polynomial at x is equal to 1.1. Okay, and now with the help of that we have to determine the accuracy of the interpolation, how much accurate or what is the accuracy level of that interpolation is. We have to show by calculations, by mathematics. Okay, so that is that we can show with the help of remainder term or the error in the Lagrange interpolating polynomial. Okay, so what that remainder term is, Rn is equals to, let me write here, Rn is equals to n plus 1th derivative of f at zeta upon n plus 1 factorial into product of x minus xi, where I runs from 0 to n. So here that n is 3 because n varies from 0, 1, this is 0, 1, 2 and 3. So n varies from 0 to n is equal to 3. So that is why remainder term Rn is equals to f3 plus 1, that is 4. Let me write here 3 plus 1 at zeta upon 3 plus 1 factorial into product which varies from 0 to 3, x minus xi. Okay, so this product x minus x naught, x minus x1 and x minus x2 into x minus x3 into upon 3 factorial, 3 plus 1 factorial, that is 4 factorial. What is 4 factorial? 4 factorial क्या होता है? Yes, 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, that is 24. Okay. So therefore Rn is equals to x minus x naught, x minus x1, x minus x2 and x minus x3 upon 24 into 4th derivative of function at zeta. Okay, so here we can substitute x naught, x1, x2, x3. These are x naught. X naught is 1, x1 is 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, x3 is 1.4, right? And what is x? X is given to be 1.1. This is x point. Actually, we have been asked the accuracy level at x is equal to 1.1. That is why we are substituting x is equal to 1.1 into that. So with all these calculations, first of all, we'll calculate this one by substituting x equal to 1.1 and other points. And then we move to the derivatives. So we have given f of x is root x. So what is the derivative of f? What is the derivative of root x? 1 upon 2 root x. That means what? 1 upon 2 into x raised to minus half. Right? X raised to minus half. Then f double dash is what? Half into, what is the derivative of x raised to minus half? It is minus half into x raised to minus half minus 1. So how much it is? Minus half minus 1 is minus 3 by 2. No? Okay. Similarly, f triple dash and f 4th order derivative. Okay. So f 4th order derivative will be like this, having negative power. So this negative power will be maximum. Actually, we are having the interval 1 to 1.4. So this negative power will be maximum. Negative power means what? The inverted graph like this. And that will be maximum at beginning point, no? Starting point. So that starting point is 1 here. That is why this negative power will be maximum at 1, and that is why we evaluate the 4th order derivative of function at 1. Okay. So whatever that value, we'll substitute into the calculations here, and that will be our required remainder term. That's it. Is this clear now, Sania? Sanya. Okay. So let's move toward the next one. Next one is finite differences and difference operators. So here, the first point we have finished here about the interpolation, which is very important point we have discussed. Remember, definitely there will be a question on interpolation here in your semester exams also, and even in competitive examinations like IES or GATE examinations. This is very important point. Interpolation. Okay. Second point, actually the first interpolation we have discussed as a Lagrange's interpolation. One more interpolation polynomial we are going to discuss as a Newton's interpolation. But to discuss about Newton's, we need to know about some operators. So first of all, we will discuss all the definitions of those operators, and then we'll define Newton's interpolation. Newton's. Okay, Newton's interpolation. So there are several operators like forward difference operator. You might have seen, you might have heard about these operators. Even you might have used also forward difference operator. Then backward difference operator. Difference. Then third is shift operator. Then fourth is average operator. Then fifth is central difference operator, like this. So these are 5 to 6 operators, and then the relation between them we are going to use, we are going to discuss, isn't it? So the first operator is forward difference operator. It is denoted by delta. Okay. Triangle, small triangle will be a delta. So forward difference operator delta is defined such that when we operate that delta onto a function fx, then that will gives f of x plus h minus f of x. So this is the definition of forward operator. When I operate delta onto f of x, so delta f of x क्या होता है? F of x plus h minus f of x. That's it. Forward difference. So अगर आप ग्राफ से देखना चाहोगे तो देख लो. Suppose if I have this as a graph, this is suppose x naught, this one is x1, and so on x2. And so, okay. So what this mean? When this is fx, this is the graph of f of x. Okay. So when I operate delta onto this f of x, then what does it mean? So delta of f of x is f of x plus h. So if we start from x naught, then x naught plus h. H we can say step length. Step length. So x naught plus, if we fix h, then x naught plus h we will call it as a x1. Then x1 plus h we will call it as a x2. Then x2 plus h we will call it as a x3. Okay. So if you look at this, when I resubstitute this x1, which is x naught plus h, then what I'll get? I'll be getting x naught plus h will be x naught plus 2h. Similarly, this will be x naught plus 3h. x4 will be x naught plus 4h. मतलब एक, this is one step ahead, this is 2 step ahead from x naught, this is 3 step ahead from x naught. So you can see here, from x naught 3 step ahead, from x naught 2 step ahead, from x naught 1 step ahead. Are you getting my point? So that means what? X naught plus h. So what this forward difference operator gives? It gives the value of function. You can see here f of f of, you can see this x1 means what? X naught plus h, right? So this is the function value. Let me change the color. This is the function value f of x naught plus h. This is f of x naught. So if I want to find delta of f of x naught, then that will be what? F of x1 minus f of x naught, and that will gives a forward difference. मतलब हम क्या कर रहे हैं, यहाँ डिफरेंस नहीं फाइंड आउट कर रहे हैं, इन दोनों का डिफरेंस फाइंड आउट कर रहे हैं. दैट इज माय फॉरवर्ड डिफरेंस. आर यू गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? देन f of डेल्टा ऑफ f of x1 क्या होगा? x2 minus x1, sorry, f at x2 minus f at x1. That means this difference. ठीक है? Are you getting the actual visualization of delta? So here, if we operate the delta 2 times onto f of x, then that will give a second order difference operator. So let me show you here. Delta of x is, what is delta of f of x? It is f of x plus h minus f of x, right? फॉरवर्ड अगर हो तो हम क्या करते हैं, एक स्टेप आगे जाके पीछे वाला सब्ट्रैक्ट करते हैं. देखो फॉरवर्ड ना, मतलब अगर हम f ऑफ x डेल्टा ऑफ f ऑफ x नॉट फाइंड आउट कर रहे हैं, तो हम क्या करेंगे, एक स्टेप आगे जाएगा, मतलब f ऑफ x1 से f ऑफ x नॉट को सब्ट्रैक्ट करेंगे. आर यू गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? इफ वी वांट टू गेट डेल्टा ऑफ f ऑफ x1, then f of x1 के आगे कौन है? f of x2. So f of x2 minus f of x1. That is why it is called forward difference. So backward difference में exactly पीछे जाएंगे हम. ठीक है, जैसे कि फॉरवर्ड में आगे जाके पीछे वाला सब्ट्रैक्ट करते हैं, तो बैकवर्ड में क्या करेंगे हम, वहीं से पीछे वाला सब्ट्रैक्ट करेंगे. दैट मींस f of backward difference operator is denoted by del. Del of f of x1 will be what? f of x1 से हमें पीछे वाला सब्ट्रैक्ट करना है, दैट इज माइनस f of x नॉट. ठीक है, del of f of x2 will be what? f of x2 minus f of x1 and so on. So this is about backward and this is about forward. ठीक है, so here the second order forward difference operator will be like this: delta of delta f of x will be equals to delta of what is delta? Delta of f of x is f of x plus h minus f of x, right? And then again we operate this delta onto f of x plus h and f of x. So delta of f of x plus h will minus delta f of x. Again, what is delta of f of x plus h? That would be one step ahead from f of x plus h. So f of x plus h, that is f of x plus 2h. So f of x plus 2h minus f of x plus h, ये हो गया इसके लिए. And now what about this? Minus, इसका तो है already हमारे पास f of x plus h minus f of x. So when we simplify, this minus and minus will be 2 times f of x plus h. You can see here plus f of x, because this minus and this minus will be plus. Similarly, so this is a second order difference operator, forward difference. Similarly, we can get third order, fourth order, and so on. Okay. So you can denote this mathematically. Let me show you on the blank screen. See here. Corresponding to x naught, I'm having y naught, right? Corresponding to x1, I'm having y1. Corresponding to x2, I'm having y2. Because this y is nothing but f of x. Huh? Y is nothing but this f of x. Corresponding to x3, I'm having y3, and so on. Okay. Now, if I want to find, this will ask in online examination the value of, suppose, y3. If they ask, then what is delta of y3? Delta of y3 is nothing but delta of f of x3, right? And what is delta of f of x3? It is f of x4 minus f of x3, right? So what is f of x4? F of x4 means y4. And what is f of x3? That is y3. So these values will be having, we just have to subtract them. Okay. Even we can prepare a forward difference table also. Suppose x, these are x values given, then y values will be given. Let us take an example. Okay. Say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And y value, suppose y value, suppose say 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 randomly. Yeah? So what is delta of y? हमें क्या करना है? डेल्टा फॉरवर्ड है ना, फॉरवर्ड क्या करते हैं हम, आगे वाले से उसको सब्ट्रैक्ट करते हैं, मतलब डेल्टा ऑफ y, दिस इज y नॉट ना, दिस इज x नॉट, दिस इज x1, एंड सो ऑन, दिस इज x1, x2, x3, x4, x5. ठीक है. तो डेल्टा ऑफ y नॉट तो नहीं होगा ना, क्योंकि हाँ, डेल्टा ऑफ y नॉट क्या होगा, y1 माइनस y नॉट. ठीक है. सो दिस इज y1 एंड दिस इज y नॉट, तो कितना होगा, 3 minus 2, how much it is, 3 minus 2, 1, right? Then 4 minus 3, because that will be delta y1. Delta of y1 क्या होगा, y2 minus y1. So how much it will be, 4 minus 3, 1. Again 5 minus 4, 1. Again 6 minus 5, 1. So this is just a coincidence. Huh? It will not always 1. ठीक है. Next, अभी next column में क्या होगा, second order operator, delta square y, है ना. So delta square y naught क्या होगा, delta square y1 minus delta square y naught. So this is delta square y1, this is delta square y, sorry, not delta square, delta. So this is delta of y1, this is delta of y naught. So 1 minus 1, 0. This will be 1 minus 1, 0, 0, 0. Right? Again, delta cube I can get with the difference of this. Okay. This is called a difference table. As we are preparing a forward difference, so that is why that is called a forward difference table, or it can be a backward difference table. Is this clear? Everyone, please reply. Is this clear to everyone? Please write in chat box if any doubt. Okay, Tanmay, you can use the white color also. Okay. Next, let's move to the backward difference operator. Okay, backward difference operator. Actually, on white White color will not be backward difference operator. So as I said, it is denoted by del. This is called del. Del, backward difference operator, del. Ulta delta, right? Will be del, and that is called that is what, वहीं से आप पीछे वाले को सब्ट्रैक्ट कर रहे थे, एफ एक्स माइनस एफ ऑफ एक्स माइनस एच, लाइक डेल ऑफ एफ ऑफ एक्स नॉट तो नहीं होगा ना, क्योंकि एक्स नॉट के पीछे वाला आपके पास है ही नहीं. Our first point is x naught, then x1 y1, x1 x2 and so on. So x naught के पीछे कोई है नहीं, तो del of f of x1 क्या होगा, f of x1 minus f of x naught. ठीक है. del of f of x2 क्या होगा, f of x2 minus f of x1 and so on. So this is a backward difference. Okay. Similarly, you can get a second order backward difference by operating it once on delta. We'll get like this. So the formula will be f of x minus 2f of x minus h plus f of x minus 2h. This is two step back. X minus 2h means this is one step back with the step length h. H will be step length. So similarly, we can obtain del cube of f of x and so on. So del fx is f of x naught minus f of x naught minus h, right? So del y naught will be y naught minus, just like I have given you the notations, f of x naught means y naught, f of x naught minus 1 will be y minus 1. Okay. Del square y naught will be del of del y naught, that is del y naught क्या है, y naught minus y suffix minus 1. So उसके ऊपर फिर से del ऑपरेट किया, तो del of y naught minus del of y suffix minus 1, but del of y naught क्या होगा, y1 minus y suffix minus 1, and इसके लिए क्या होगा, y suffix minus 1 minus y suffix minus 2, but this minus and this minus will be plus there, that is why it is plus. So that is why this is the formula of second order backward difference operator. So this is an example. Prepare a forward difference table for this function y equal to x cube. So these points will not be given to us, remember. Okay. We have to get this table first of all for this particular polynomial. So as we have given y equal to x cube minus 2x plus 5, and this is given to us, x varies. What does it mean? This means that x varies from 0 to 6 with the difference of 1. That means what? X equal to 0. Then 0 plus 1 will be x1. Then 1 plus 1 will be x2. Then this plus 1 will be x3. Then this plus 1 will be x4 and so on. Are you getting my point? So x naught is given to be 1, right? So what is f of x naught? F of x naught is x naught cube minus 2x naught plus 5. So substitute x naught is equal to 1 there. So 1 minus 2 plus 5. So 1 minus 2 is minus 1 plus 5 is 4. So that is why y naught is 4. Is this clear? Similarly, for x is equal to 0, y naught will be 5. You can substitute into this. ऐसे सब्स्टिट्यूट करके आपको सब y की वैल्यूज फाइंड आउट करने. सो y naught is 5, then y1 will be 4, then y2 will be 9 and so on. Then prepare this table for x values corresponding y values, right? And now we prepare a forward difference table consisting x values, then y values, then delta y values, then second order, third order and so on, जब तक हमें लास्ट वैल्यू नहीं मिल जाएगी तब तक. मतलब देखो ये 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 and corresponding y values are 5 4 9 26 61 120 and 209, right? तो डेल्टा y क्या होगा? डेल्टा y will be, डेल्टा y डेल्टा वाई नॉट क्या होता है? लेट मी राइट हियर द फॉर्मूला. डेल्टा ऑफ वाई नॉट, दिस इज वाई नॉट ना, तो डेल्टा ऑफ वाई नॉट क्या होगा? वाई वन माइनस वाई नॉट. आगे जाके पीछे वाले को सब्ट्रैक्ट, आगे जाके उसको सब्ट्रैक्ट करते हैं ना आगे के वैल्यू से. सो वाई वन माइनस वाई नॉट, तो वाई वन क्या है? 4. 4 माइनस 5 विल बी माइनस 1. Similarly, delta y1 will be 9 minus 4, that is 5. 26 minus 9. 26 minus 9 will be 17, na? Right? Then 61 minus 26. 61 minus 26, how much it is? Hmm? 35? And so on. 120 minus 61, like this. ठीक है. फिर से डेल्टा स्क्वायर के लिए इन दोनों का सब्ट्रैक्शन. 5 minus minus 1 will be 6. Then 17 minus 5 will be 12, right? Like this. Then 35 minus 17, 80, like this. Again, delta cube means in दोनों का subtraction will be 6, like this. And again, delta raised to 4 of y means in दोनों का subtraction, that will be 0. Okay. So it is not necessarily 0, but we are getting it here. So we will get a triangular shape like this. Will be a forward difference step. You can see here. This is a forward difference table I have prepared here. देख लो एक बार. These are xi values, these are yi values, and these are first forward. This is second forward, second order. This is third order forward. This is fourth order forward. This is fifth order forward, and so on. If you go by formula, then that will be very much lengthier, you can say. If they ask to find delta cube, and if you are simply operating delta 3 times onto f of x, then that will be much lengthier, remember. So instead of that, if we use this forward difference to get the exact value, so if we ask to find delta cube of y3, then that will this is delta cube of y0, delta cube of y1, and this is delta cube of y2, y3, so that will be 6. So directly the option will be 6 there. Note, operation of delta on a polynomial of degree n reduces its degree by 1. Always remember. Delta is just like a derivative. So when we operate this delta onto f of x, then that will reduce the polynomial by degree 1. तो इसका डिग्री कितना यहाँ 3. तो when I operate delta onto this, it will get reduced to 2, a polynomial of degree 2. You can see here when I operate it. And these are the calculations. आप देख लो बाद में, ठीक है. This is delta. Now here for the same example, for this example, y equal to x square plus 1 with x varies from 0 to 5. They have asked to prepare a backward difference table. So you can see here, this is a backward. Del y क्या होता है? Del y naught will be y naught minus y1. लेकिन let me write here. Del y naught क्या होता है? वही ऑब्जर्वेशन से पीछे वाला ऑब्जर्वेशन सब ट्रैक करना है, लेकिन ये तो हमारे पास है ही नहीं, राइट. डेल y1 क्या होगा? y1 माइनस y नॉट, ठीक है. दैट इज वाई y1 माइनस y नॉट, तो 2 माइनस 1 1. देन डेल ऑफ y2 will be y2 minus y1. 5 minus 2 will be 3, like this. Similarly, second order backward, third order backward, fourth order, fifth order, and so on. Okay. You can see here also we get a triangular shape like this. This is about forward and backward difference operators. Is this clear to everyone about forward and backward difference operators? If it is clear, then I can move further, but let me know if any doubt. I'm switching to the chat box. Please ask your doubts, if any. Is this clear to everyone? Good. ठीक है. Next. Next is central difference operator. Central difference operator is denoted by delta. ये small delta है, वो जो delta था वो capital delta था. Triangle means capital delta, and this is small delta. That is central difference operator. Okay. So when I operate delta onto f of x, so central difference मतलब अगर आपका ये function है किसी particular value पे, ठीक है, मतलब not किसी particular in this particular interval, so what we'll do, we'll find the center of that, and then from the center we'll take a difference to the left and to the right from that point, and in दोनों का difference will be the central difference. You can see here what we are doing. If we ask to find delta of f of x, we are moving h by 2 to the right and h by 2 to the left, and then दोनों का difference will be the central difference. So that is function value of function value at x plus h by 2 minus function value at x minus h by 2 will be delta of f of x. Okay. If it is x naught, then x naught will be here, is it? So delta of f of x naught क्या होता है? Y naught. So delta of y naught is this I can say y half minus y1 half in terms of y notation. Okay, let us see here further. Next is just a minute. This is second order central difference operator. Delta square f of x is delta of f of x. ठीक है. So second order delta square f of x will be f of x plus h minus 2 times f of x plus f of x minus h. ठीक है. So delta yr is delta of f of xr, because corresponding to xr we are having yr, right? And that f of xr, delta of f of xr is f of xr plus h by 2 minus f of xr minus h by 2. If we denote this by yr plus half and yr minus half, then this is my notation in terms of y. Delta of yr is this. Clear? So delta of y half is y1 minus y naught. Okay. And that is nothing but what? y1 minus y naught क्या होता है? Capital delta of y naught. Okay. So here we get the relation between small delta and capital delta, that small delta of y half is nothing but capital delta of y naught, and that is nothing but what? Ulta delta, that is del of y1, right? This is a relation. Similarly, delta square of y half is what you can substitute. Y half means r is half, remember, r is half, so this r is half, so half plus half is 1, that is why y1. Okay, but half minus half will be 0, so that is why y0. Okay. But delta of y1, again using the same definition, delta here r is 1, so this r is 1, So 1 plus half will be 3 by 2. You can see here 3 by 2. Again 1 minus half will be half. So that is half. Again इसके लिए सेंट्रल डिफरेंस का डेफिनेशन ये वाला, ठीक है, उनको कंबाइन किया. दिस इज माय फॉर्मूला फॉर सेकंड ऑर्डर डिफरेंस ऑपरेटर. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट, this is a table for central difference step operator. For this function y is equal to x square plus 1, start from 0 to 5 with the difference of 1, 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3 and so on. Okay. So the same thing, small delta of y is y, suppose that is small delta of y naught, that is y1 minus 1, क्योंकि डेल्टा क्या होता है, डेल के जैसा होता है, we have seen. But here remember, here r will be multiple of, not multiple, with the difference of half we are moving, because it is h by 2, no? So with the difference of half we are moving ahead. So this is small delta of y half, this is small delta of y 3 by 2, this is small delta of y 5 by 2, 7 by 2, 9 by 2 and so on. Again these are the second order difference operators. Okay. Half plus half is 1. Again 3 by 2 plus half is 4 by 2, which is 2, isn't it? 5 by 2 plus half is 6 by 2, which is 3. 9 by 2 plus half is 10 by 2, which is, I think something is wrong here. 7 by 2 plus half, 8 by 2, which is 4, right? 4. इसके लिए नहीं होगा क्योंकि इनका डिफरेंस है ये आगे जाके. Again 1 plus half is 3 by 2, right? 2 plus half will be 5 by 2, 3 plus half will be 7 by 2 and so on. ऐसे करते जाना. Is this clear? Next, note, in general, for a polynomial of nth degree, forward, backward or central differences of nth order are constant and higher order differences are 0. Are you getting this? For a polynomial of degree n or nth degree, suppose if we have a polynomial of degree 3, then what it means, delta cube of y will be non-zero, or it may be 0 also. Okay, but this is not the case for exact value. This is the case for greater value. That means if we want to find, if we ask to find delta raised to 4, then that will be definitely 0. Remember, so such questions will be there in online exam. So you should know, for nth degree polynomial, forward, backward or central differences operators of nth order are constant. मतलब उस ऑर्डर के कांस्टेंट तो होगी, लेकिन उसके आगे हायर ऑर्डर के डेफिनेटली 0 होंगे. I hope this is clear to everyone. That is, for the polynomial of degree 3, let me again explain that for the polynomial of degree 3, delta cube or del cube or small delta cube may be constant. There may be 0 also, constant, and delta raised to 4, del raised to 4, or small delta raised to 4, or even delta raised to 5, del raised to 5, small delta raised to 5 and so on. ये सब क्या होंगे? ये सब के सब 0 होंगे. Is this clear to everyone? This is very important. Next, show that this is the relation delta del. This is into actually delta into del, or operation. Actually operator में ना into नहीं होता है कभी, है ना? They are operating onto each other. So delta operated on del is nothing but del operated on delta, and that is nothing but what? Square of central difference operator. This is an interesting result actually. You can see here. Let me show you one side. We start with the left hand side. Left hand side क्या है? Delta of del fx. Let us start with this. So that is delta of del f of x. And what is del f of x? What is the definition of del f of x? It is वहीं से हम पीछे वाले को सब्ट्रैक्ट करते हैं, that is f of x minus f of x minus h, right? Now that is delta of f of x minus delta of f of x minus h, right? And what is delta of f of x? डेल्टा मतलब फॉरवर्ड, फॉरवर्ड मतलब आगे जाके पीछे वाले को सब्ट्रैक्ट करते हैं, दैट मींस f of x plus h minus f of x minus f of x minus h plus h minus f of x minus h. So that is f of x plus h minus f of x minus, this is getting cancelled, so minus f of x minus f of x minus 2 times f of x, and this minus will be plus, so plus f of x minus 2h. Oh sorry, is h only, huh? Okay, so this is, and if we look at the second order central difference operator, the value of this, that is nothing but this, so that is delta square of f of x. You can start with this also, you'll get the same thing. Okay, so this is how we can operate. You can see here, I've explained in detail here. I hope everything is clear. Next, this is the average operator. Average is just like averaging. तो दो अगर हमारे पास नंबर है तो उनके एवरेज कैसे करते हैं हम? We are adding them and dividing by 2. Right? That is called an average operator. So central difference में हमने जो function values use किए, उन दोनों का average means average operator, and that is denoted by mu. MYU we can say, pronunciation mu. ठीक है, this is average operator. This is the result, mu square is equal to 1 plus delta square by 4. Okay, show that. So we can use this result as a formula. Delta square, sorry, mu square of f of x is 1 plus delta square by 4, which is operated on f of x. This is the whole operator on f of x. This is the whole operator on f of x. So I have explained here. Mu square of, I have started with the left hand side. I've got this, then right hand side got this, and then from 1 and 2 are same. Therefore, I'll get the required result. See, I uploaded a notes on blog. Just go through the notes and ask if any doubt. Shift operator, the last operator is shift operator. Shift operator is denoted by E, and it is defined as E raised to 1 of f of x is f of x plus 1h. So in general, if I raise the power of e to be r, e raised to r of f of x is f of x plus rh. Minus r means x minus rh. So that much step ahead, that much steps back. Is this clear? So these are all the operators we have seen. Let me recall. First is forward difference, which is denoted by delta. Then backward difference, which is del. Then central difference, which is small delta. Then average operator, which is mu. Then shift operator, which is E. So when I operate, इसका definition क्या है? When I operate this onto f of x, then that is f of x plus h minus f of x, right? When I operate this onto f of x, that gives f of x minus f of x minus h, right? When I operate small delta onto f of x, then that gives what? F of x plus h by 2 minus f of x minus h by 2. Central का difference. When I operate mu onto f of x, इन दोनों का average is average operator, that is half of f of x plus h by 2 minus f plus f of x minus h by 2. Okay, average. And e raised to r of f of x is what? F of x plus rh. That's it. So these are the 5 operators with their relations we have seen. In the next lecture, we'll discuss the Newton's interpolation, which is based on these operators. Is this clear to everyone? These are the relations actually. Please go through these relations. In the next lecture, we'll start with Newton's difference interpolation, forward difference and backward difference. And then we'll move towards the Newton's integration and differentiation. Okay. Numerical integration and differentiation. So you just go through these solved examples from the note and from the book if you have. You can ask your doubts if any. Is this clear to everyone?